Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a brand new video, and that is to show you my full collection of the Avengers Endgame SH Figuarts, which of course is by Tamashii Nations Bandai. They have released a total of 10 action figures so far, 8 characters with 2 Clint Bartons and 2 Iron Mans. So not in any particular order, I'm just going to go through each of the figure, just give you my opinions, show you some images which I'll be posting on Instagram, and of course talk about any future releases. So we're going to start off with Ant-Man, which was my first pickup. And this one is pretty nice. It's not very unique to the Endgame movie, to be honest. He is essentially wearing the same attire as we have seen in the previous movies. So if you already have the SH Figuarts Civil War version or even a Marvel Legends, you'll probably contemplate whether to pick this one up as well. But this one does include a Scott Lang head sculpt, which is pretty realistic. So I do like this figure. Whether they'll be picking up a Wasp, that one I'm not too sure if Tamashii Nations will make one, because they do already have the Ant-Man and the Wasp version, so there's no need to make a Endgame version. And then we can move on to Black Widow, which is one of my favorites. Now Natasha has a range of articulation for this figure. There's so many alternate hands. You can hold on to the batons, onto the guns, do the running pose. So yeah, this is what I like about this action figure, and it does look a lot like ScarJo, which is pretty cool. If you're a fan of Natasha, I would recommend this because she does have a different look to any of her previous movies, with a new costume and new hairstyle. So yeah, this one's pretty nice to have. As for whether they'll be releasing any future Black Widow ones, I think it really depends on the movie that's coming out in May. If that's a success, maybe they will be making some characters from that film. And then we can move on to Hawkeye, Clint Barton. And this one again is pretty important. He is part of the original 6. And this one does include a few accessories. There's 2 bows, one with the arrow and one without. So there's a range of poses, different hands for different ways of posing. You can hold on to the arrows, you can pull onto the bow. The only disappointment I did say in the review was that his hairstyle could have been a bit longer, which maybe I'm being a bit too picky. But overall it's a nice look. If you do have the Age of Ultron SH Figuarts, because that one is pretty expensive now, but of course if you already own it, maybe you won't get this one. And then we have Ronin, who was pretty unique in the film. It was quite refreshing to see that character. It does have the look of Ronin, the armor, the katana sword. You can put the katana case on the back of him. So yeah, I do like it. The only disappointment I did say was there was no Clint Barton head sculpt, which was quite unique. But then I found out that you can actually place the Hawkeye head sculpt onto Ronin. There is a Marvel Legends version, which I have seen. That one looks pretty good as well. So if you already have that, it's probably not worth this one. Then we have a Iron Man, which of course is very important. Kind of what you expected from SH Figuarts, a very good action figure, as they do with all the Iron Man armors. This one's known as the Nano Weapon Set 2, so it's the second release. The first one was released under the title Infinity War, with slightly different accessories. I'm not sure whether you can mix and match those. If you do have both of the figures, you can probably try. This one I don't really have many problems with. There's plenty of blaster effects, launchers, so there's a lot to go with this figure, so I don't have much complaints about this. Of course, if you already have the Nano Weapon Set 1, is it really worth getting this one? It's really up to you. And then we have Professor Hulk, Bruce Banner. This one I was a bit disappointed with. I did say that the articulation was a bit stiff, as well as the look is probably not the most accurate face sculpt. But I think that there was not much alternate hands. There was no gauntlet. There was no alternate head sculpt with a glasses. It was just eyes looking to the side. Overall, I do like the look of it. I mean, the suit looks pretty neat. But they didn't give us any angry face or, again, the one with the glasses, which I really wanted. If you're looking to pick up a Professor Hulk, there is a Marvel Select version. There's also a Disney one. And some people do prefer those. So it's really up to you which one you prefer. This one is a bit unique for SH Figuarts. It's the first time we see Hulk in this suit. Probably the least favorite out of all of them. Then we have Thanos, which is very unique. Of course, he is very important in the Infinity Saga, and this figure is pretty nice. I mean, it does include the blade, the gauntlet. I know, spoiler alert, he doesn't wear it in the film, but you do see him have the gauntlet in the Infinity War. So yeah, maybe they could have given us that alternate left hand, which they didn't. There's a range of face sculpts which I'm pretty happy about. The only disappointment is you can't take off the helmet, so he does fight a lot in the film without a helmet, which they didn't include. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with Thanos. And I'll definitely say it's better than the Marvel Legends and even the Marvel Select one, which they may have released as well. Then we move on to the last three, the big three, starting off with Thor. This one, of course, is pretty unique because it's the first time we see the Fat Thor in this armor. I do like it. It does look a lot like Chris Hemsworth. It does include the Stormbreaker, the Mjolnir. Maybe if I'm being a bit too picky, they could have given us some special effects like the lightning effects. Maybe they're saving up for a final battle version. And there was actually no alternate head sculpt. Maybe they thought the eyes looking to the side was a bit pointless. But overall, I do like this figure, and they're probably going to release a final battle version. And then we move on to Captain America, Steve Rogers. He does look a bit thin. He could be a bit more bulky in my eyes. There's plenty of alternate hands for him to be swinging the shield, holding onto the shield, and of course placing on the back as I have done now. Also found out that there's no alternate hand for him to hold on to Thor's Mjolnir, which again is probably a strategy they did on purpose because they are releasing the final battle version, which of course does include the Mjolnir. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this Captain America. If you do have the Age of Ultron and Civil War version, I'm not too sure if you want to go for another one. I mean, there is a Marvel Legends version with a battle damaged shield, and there's also the Mjolnir, so maybe you can go for that. But this one is okay, it's not too bad, but I'm definitely looking forward to the upcoming release. Now, this is the Mark 85, probably one of the most iconic armors in the whole saga, and they can't go too much wrong with this. I am happy with this look. The armor is pretty nice. There's alternate hands for blaster effects. The disappointment for this one is there's no Tony Stark head sculpt, which I really wanted. But of course, I found out they are releasing a final battle version. But overall, I do like the armor. Of course, the articulation is pretty good. And I don't have much problems with this figure because it has different poses. You can't actually really put the Tony Stark head sculpt on, but I have tried it with the previous Iron Man 3 figure. You have to take the peg out and it does work. But I am looking forward to the final battle version in April because that one does include a lot of accessories and of course the Tony Stark head sculpt. So I think that's about it for the full collection of the Avengers Endgame. And now we look forward to the upcoming releases. In February, they're releasing War Machine under Endgame. They're releasing a second version of Black Panther under the Infinity War title. And then, of course, as mentioned, in April, they're releasing the final battle of Captain America and Iron Man. There'll also be a rescue figure. And then in the summer, they also announced the arrival of Captain Marvel and a instant kill Spider-Man. So if you haven't seen the reviews, you can check the link in the description below for those. Thanks for watching and see you next time.